The dusty path I stand on weaves through twisted trees, all of them hazed in the half-light of near dawn. In the distant, hills glow pink. The sun is rising, but hasn't yet broken over the land. I'm about to ask Father where we are when I hear the scuff of footsteps behind me and a feminine sniff. I whirl to find two women standing alone, staring at a wall of rock. My mouth drops open as the Holy Spirit whispers to me that one of them is Mary Magdalene. She's beautiful in the way only a mature woman can be, but her shoulders heave as she weeps, her eyes red and puffy, bloodshot as if she hasn't slept or stopped crying for days. Tears spill over her dark lashes and rub her face again. She speaks hushed whispers of a language I don't understand, but I hear her heart. She's pleading with God. Please, help us, Daddy, please, please. The men don't know who've taken him or where. Even Peter, please. Her yearning is broken in grief. She and her friend cling to each other, but the light in her eyes burns brighter than the sun creeping up on the horizon. I gasp and reach for her, but my foot runs into something and I draw up short, then scramble back when I realize the ground is literally scattered with dozens of men in strange costumes. For a moment, I think they're all dead and I want to scream, but Father nudges my side and I blink at the one nearest my foot. Even though he's sprawled with his arms and legs thrown out and his mouth slack, I can see the leather armor he wears rising and falling with his breath. With a huge sigh of relief, I turn back to Mary, who remains shrouded by the shadow of a large rock face, but there's a gaping hole in it, black as midnight. And next to the hole, a boulder, taller than a man's head. For a moment, I'm confused. The women stare at the hole and weep. The dirt is scuffed and pocked with the marks of many feet, but no one's here. At least no one who's conscious. This is the tomb, right? I turn to scan the small clearing. This is Jesus' resurrection morning, but where is he? And why is Mary still crying? The tomb calls to me. Leaving her, I walk carefully through the fainted men and into the dark hole in the rock, my eyes immediately finding the flat area on the back wall where bandages lay slack in the rough form of a man's body, as if whatever was within them simply disappeared. And a fine linen cloth lays on the rock above it where a man's head would be. He's already gone. Holy Spirit's light glows for a moment next to me and my heart begins to sing. Then a man's voice, low and gravelly, sounds outside and Mary answers quietly, still crying. I scramble towards the opening in the rock as the voice I recognize, the voice that sings to something inside me, murmurs, Mary. And I reach outside just in time to see her turn and her face light up with joy. Yeshua, Rabboni. She throws herself into his arms and he embraces her, murmuring words I don't understand. I begin to cry too, with pure joy. It feels like my heart will break through my ribs and leap out on its own to find him. The women fall to the ground in front of him, grasping at his feet, worshiping him, calling his name and crying out to God in thanks. And I stumble to the ground behind them, thanking Jesus over and over again. I understand suddenly how impossible this moment is. I weep because he is unrecognizable, the scars disfiguring what should have been his perfect face, but he's back. He is back. The women won't let Jesus go. They kiss his sandals and grab at his ankles. He gently pulls them to their feet, but also removes their hands and won't let them grab him again. He speaks their language, but I can understand him. Don't hold on to me. I haven't been back to my Father yet. No, don't be afraid. I'm ascending now to see our Father and our God. Go tell my brothers to leave for Galilee. I will meet them there. For a moment after he disappears, the women sink to their faces and sob, but their despair passes quickly. Laughing and crying to each other, they hurry to their feet and run out of the clearing and down the path, and I know they're going to the men who won't believe them immediately. My stomach drops as I'm reminded of my conversation with Father and Holy Spirit. I turn because I can still feel God nearby, but all three are shrouded in the light of the Holy Spirit, and I know this is not a moment for me. Jesus is returning to Father. Outside the circle of light, I sink to my knees, shaking with gratitude, overwhelmed with emotion. I am elated and fearful, and I don't even know why. I don't know how long I kneel there, going back over my conversation with them, over everything that I've seen, and reliving the incredible moment of seeing Jesus return to these women. To the women. He came back to the women first because they believed. They trusted me. Jesus' voice is gravelly and damaged, but when I look up, he's beaming at me. Despite the scars, his face is lit up. I leap to my 3 feet and throw myself into his arms, and I can't cry hard enough to express what I'm feeling. His arms close around me. It's as if his love is a physical thing, cracking my heart open and piercing my skin, painless but overwhelming in the best kind of way. I sob his name, begging his forgiveness as the images of the horrific things he endured flutter through my head, and he hugs me closer, whispering comfort. Of course I forgive you. I will always forgive you. You are mine. The sheer fact that he can say that honestly, deeply, with a smile on his face, shatters my heart. I fall, but he catches me before I hit the ground. I'm trembling. I can't see anything but his face. I cling to him and he clings back, his eyes wet with tears of joy, and I want to take them away from him, but I need him to take mine. This love is so imbalanced, so undeserved, so undefiled. I can't put words to it. So I gape and I sob. And I ask him to hear my heart because I know I've done nothing to earn his love. I can see in the joy that lights him up, in the unabashed love he offers, in his complete lack of hesitation before he embraces me, I am nothing but his love. There's so much of it, and it is so pure. It gives me value. It makes me something. I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you, I babble into his chest, my tears wetting his robe. He strokes my hair. You're worth it to me. And with that impossible sentiment, I fly apart from the inside. But he gathers me together, whispering words I don't understand with my ears, but they piece my heart back together, burning between the cracks to sear them back into place better and stronger than they were before. Then he holds me. He holds me closer and closer, overwhelming me with his love and protection. You're worth it to me, he repeats. Despite his whispers, I hear every word over my own sobbing. You are worth it to me, he says. You are my prized possession. You are the very best of my creation. You didn't choose me. I chose you. I love you.